Sooner fans are hyped up for today's Texas Tech OU game. I'm Nathan Thompson, live in a rainy Norman across the street from Memorial Stadium.
Oh, and I'm Martina Dalbonta in the Fox 23 studio, where I'm pretty dry right now. In a little more than 90 minutes, OU fans will be glued to the TV. And we are helping you get ready for the big game. Fox 23 has reporters in Tulsa and at OU in Norman for a countdown to kickoff special. Nathan is getting us started, though, this afternoon with a breakdown of what you can expect from the Sooners and the Red Raiders. Nathan.
A very entertaining game. That's what you should expect. These are two teams ranked in the top 15 of the BCS standings, and this series has been a coin flip recently. Since 2004, neither team has won back-to-back games in this series, and that's part of the reason why people are so excited about this game. People in Norman are definitely excited about it as they stroll into Memorial Stadium. Now, we're seeing a pretty good crowd before kickoff, and you'll be able to see exactly how far we are away from kickoff, about 90 minutes right now. But if you look at the countdown to kickoff timer in the corner of your screen, that timer will be up there throughout the pregame show. Now, the Sooners come into today's game in a little bit of a slump. They did win last weekend, but it was much closer than expected. OU trailed 13-0 in the second quarter to big underdog Kansas before coming back to win 34-19. And, of course, the game before that, Texas handed Oklahoma a 16-point loss in the Red River rivalry. Texas Tech is cruising along. The Red Raiders are a perfect 7-0 on the season after beating West Virginia last weekend and are ranked 10th in the country in Cliff Kingsbury's first year as head coach.
They continue to play very confidently, aggressively, with good discipline. You don't see many mistakes. So, they're playing good football, obviously.
Their defense schematically has changed a bunch from last year. He does a good job bringing people from everywhere, very athletic, fly around, fundamentally sound. Their offense with the big quarterback, he's hard to bring down, and they have very talented receivers, a running back that can take it to the distance anytime. And so it's a huge challenge. We know that going on the road there, and so we'll have to play our best game.
Here's a look at the matchup by the numbers. The Red Raiders definitely have the advantage on offense. Tech ranks 6th in the country in total offense and averages 41.1 points a game. And the Red Raiders' defensive numbers are good too, just not as good as OU's. Sooners are top 10 in both total defense and scoring defense. Now, from looking at the numbers, it looks like the OU defense versus the Texas Tech offense is going to be one of those classic strength versus strength matchups in this game. But stopping the Red Raiders isn't just about the OU defense stepping up. Fox 23's Andrew Carter talked to the Sooners this week. And, Andrew, they say it's got to be a whole team effort to stop an offense this good.
Nathan, we were in Norman earlier in the week, as we are every Monday for Media Day, and for Bob Stoops and the Sooners, the game plan was clear. It was turning offense into defense.
Quarterback draw, nobody home. He's running right up the middle inside the 5 at the goal line. Touchdown, Baker Mayfield.
The book is still open on Texas Tech. The Red Raiders boast the number 10 spot in the BCS rankings, but Tech has only beaten one team with a winning record, and it's not any Big 12 foes. It's the Texas State Bobcats.
They continue to play very confidently, aggressively, with good discipline. You don't see many mistakes. So they're playing good football, obviously.
Clearly, the Sooners believe in Texas Tech, but even as odds makers have OU as 8-point favorites, the team knows it's going to take a full 60 minutes.
Our first goal needs to be starting quicker. We're starting so slow the last two games. It's got to change.
Especially when Tech has the ability to light up the scoreboard, ranked 3rd in the nation in passing yards.
When you play teams that have, these high-powered offenses, you've got to stay on the field too. You've got to be ready for the tempo, and part of that many plays is the offense needs to stay on the field.
So while everyone talks about the Sooners' defense against the Red Raiders' offense, OU clearly feels if the offense does its job, everything else should fall into place.
And they need to come out and play fast and get points on the board early, stop putting our defense in bad spots. That'll be very important against Texas Tech, with how explosive their offense is.
While we're out here under the umbrella, clearly the offense for the Sooners is going to be under the microscope as well. But stay tuned later, because there's a lot of preparation that goes into the football game, but it's also homecoming, and a lot of preparation goes into the parade that happened just earlier today. Martina, back to you.
Thanks so much, Andrew. The excitement of today's game reaches far beyond Norman. There's a lot of Orange OSU fans at Leon's in Brookside, but the red is starting to show as Fox 23's Farron Salee met some people who are especially enthusiastic about the game later this evening.
It's going to be tough because Tech's undefeated, but OU, I mean, strong defense. Hopefully we can hold them, and they're coming into our house, so we won't lose.
Now, Holland actually wishes he could be there for the game, but being around other people cheering on the Sooners will be just fine. All right, we begin our player spotlight with someone who doesn't get a lot of attention. One of the Sooners' most consistent players is their kicker, Michael Honeycutt, and it turns out this game against Texas Tech means more than some may think. It's safe to say Sooners kicker Michael Honeycutt is pretty clutch.
I feel like I've gotten better. I try to get better each year at least.
No longer dealing with the nerves he used to get, Honeycutt is now 52 of 60 from field goal range in his career and 14 of 15 this season. But there's one kick that has never left his mind.
Have a miss like that, you never want to feel like that again. I've never felt so bad after a game before.
2 years ago against Texas Tech, Honeycutt missed 2 field goals, one in the fourth quarter. The Sooners would go on to lose that game, and those kicks were a defining moment to him.
Definitely a really rough game. Went back, didn't miss the rest of that season. Kind of made me more mentally strong, I would say.
Now Honeycutt stays ahead of the mental game that often affects kickers.
It's definitely a big part of being a kicker. But you just kind of have to bounce back and think about your next kick. Don't dwell on the past. Go 1 for 1 on your next one.
All right, guys. Well, some areas, including the campus of OU, are seeing some showers. Here's a live look as sprinkles are falling and they're wearing their ponchos out there as people are beginning to start going into the stadium to go to their seats. It's been a cloudy start to the weekend. Certified meteorologist John Boyers in the Fox 23 Weather Center with your game day forecast. That looks like a wet one, John.
At least it looks like most of the fans came prepared. One thing we'll watch closely for is the potential for some lightning, as there are some storms in the vicinity, but right now just some light rain. As you saw on the screen there, Andrew Carter reported there some drizzle around Norman, and it's pretty mild, 59 degrees, dew point of 59. Air's pretty saturated, kind of a damp midday there, 100% humidity. Winds are from the southwest at 7 miles an hour. We could see those winds get up to 10 or 15 miles an hour, but it's not going to be a huge factor today. Otherwise, overcast. So let's check out the radar in central Oklahoma there. Norman right now, some light sprinkles in the area. One little wave of rain just passed off to the northeast, but we'll widen things up a little bit so you can see what's on the way. And it's a big area of light to moderate rain off to the southwest, and this is going to move in, I think, for much of the first half. Thunderstorms off to the south along 35, but that's barely going to clip the southern edge of McLean County and continue moving northeast. So right now some thunder in the distance, but no lightning very close to the stadium. But we'll see if more storms develop later this afternoon. That's something we'll have a chance for here in Green Country, although right now it's pretty quiet on Fox 23 Doppler radar. A sprinkle south of Bartlesville, more showers south of Eufaula, and these are actually moving to the east. So most of us are dry right now with partly to mostly cloudy skies here in Tulsa, a little warmer than it is in Norman, 61. Winds are from the south at 7 miles an hour. It should be a pretty pleasant day outside of those showers because things are warming back up again. So coming up in the weathercast, I'm tracking how much warmer it's going to get, what we can expect from the rain today, and also when we're looking at some bigger chances for storms.
All right, we'll see you soon. Now, it's not just a big day for football. The chill in the air didn't stop more than 10,000 runners from hitting the pavement for the Tulsa Run. Fox 23's Eddie Randall shows us all the action from the starting line to the finish line.
This is the 35th anniversary for the run, and runners as well as those who just come out for moral support tell me they come out because it's a Tulsa tradition that everyone can participate in.
I run because it's one of the many ways I like to stay healthy.
Gail Cohen says she started running in the Tulsa Run in her mid-40s. Now in her 50s, she says it's kept her motivated in maintaining a healthy lifestyle.
Tradition and for fun.
Yeah.
And for good exercise.
The Sauter family says it's their 5th year to participate.
I'm doing the 5.
15K usually.
They say preparing is fun, but the best part is the finish.
Just crossing and everybody cheering you in, that's the greatest feeling ever.
It is a sense of
because you finished it.
That's the feeling Ebony Harvey felt today after completing her first 5K.
I was like, I did it, because that was my main goal, was to run nonstop and to finish it.
Randy Howard's Tulsa Run journey started 2 years ago when he decided he wanted to walk the 5K. He tells Fox 23 he's been blind since the age of 3, but he doesn't let that hold him back. This year, he ran the 15K.
I don't have a lot of time to worry about what I can't do. There's things I want to do, and I want to spend the time and energy figuring out how to do those things.
It's really about racing, whether you run, walk, wheelchair. So the cool thing about the Tulsa Run is it really kind of embraces the entire community.
The Tulsa Run also gives back. Several charities benefit from this event.
We want to make sure that we maintain that philanthropic spirit and give money back to the community.
So many people from different walks of life came to participate in today's event. Runners, walkers, those in wheelchairs, and 23 of today's participants have been a part of the Tulsa Run since it started 35 years ago. And a lot of those runners tell me that no matter which race you participate in, crossing that finish line is one amazing accomplishment. In downtown Tulsa, Eddie Randall, Fox 23 News.
Thanks so much, Eddie. Now, the Golden Hurricane are at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome getting ready for an afternoon game. We have a look at what you can expect as TU takes on New Orleans. Plus, our countdown to kickoff special continues with a Texas Tech quarterback comparison. We've got the stats on the Baker Mayfield and Davis Webb. But first, Sooner trivia. In the 1980s, which OU player wore the number 14 before Josh Heupel? That answer in just 2 minutes. We have the answer to our Sooner trivia. The question, in the 1980s, which OU player wore the number 14 before Josh Heupel? The answer, Derek White. You have to go all the way back to the mid-80s. Derek White started at corner with the number 14. Here's another live look to Norman. The OU Texas Tech game kicks off at 2:35, and the skies are gray and rainy. We have you covered from the field to the watch parties right here on Fox 23. Texas Tech is an unexpected contender for the Big 12 championship. The pressure is on for both teams. Sports director Nathan Thompson is live near Memorial Stadium with how the Texas Tech quarterbacks stack up.
Yeah, Martina, this is the marquee matchup in the Big 12 today. It could go a long way in deciding who wins the Big 12 championship this season. But before the year started, not a lot of people would have predicted that. Sure, the Sooners were one of the preseason favorites, but Texas Tech was picked 7th in the preseason poll. The Red Raiders obviously surprising a lot of people, and a big reason they're surprising a lot of people, a couple of freshman quarterbacks, one of whom, not sure which one, will start today's game. Freshman Baker Mayfield began the year under center, starting the first 5 games before getting hurt against Kansas. Mayfield is believed to be the first walk-on true freshman quarterback to start a season opener for a BCS team ever. After Mayfield got hurt, Davis Webb stepped in at QB, and Texas Tech didn't miss a beat. Webb is also a true freshman, also put up big numbers. Here's a look at those numbers. These are the per start numbers. Baker Mayfield is averaging nearly 300 yards a start, 1.6 touchdowns, and 1 interception. The backup, Davis Webb, is averaging even better numbers per start, 439 yards passing, 2.5 touchdowns, and only half an interception a start. Joining me now is our college football analyst, Austin Chadwick, the All-American, former All-American at TU. We're just talking about the quarterbacks for Texas Tech, a couple of freshmen. Don't know who's going to start yet. Cliff Kingsbury hasn't announced it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it really doesn't. I mean, these guys are running a program that Cliff Kingsbury is taking, and he's been doing it as a coach now, as a head coach this year. It's the old Mike Leach program. I mean, it's to spread the ball out, get the ball in your playmakers' hands, let them make plays. OU has got to tackle very well, but it really doesn't matter who's starting at quarterback because they're going to be able to go up and down the field, or they think they are, and that's their plan and that's their goal, regardless of who gets the nod.
Now, OU and Texas Tech is a pretty heated rivalry. It's gone back and forth over the last several years, each team winning some games. But here at Memorial Stadium behind us, the Sooners have had a lot of success. They've only lost one time to Texas Tech in the Bob Stoops era. Texas Tech head coach seems to be giving a lot of credit for that success to the Memorial Stadium atmosphere.
It's a huge challenge anytime you go to that stadium. It's one of the storied stadiums in college football. Their fans are crazy, hostile, intense, and so it's a great college football atmosphere.
All right, now, Austin, you played here at Memorial Stadium in your playing days with the Golden Hurricane. Of course, you've watched a lot of games here. What kind of atmosphere and how big of an advantage is it for the Sooners?
Oh, it's big, and that's why I probably will give the nod to the Sooners, is because at Memorial Stadium, there's something called Sooner Magic. And what happens in this stadium is that they get turnovers, and they start getting the momentum. All of a sudden, things start going against you real quick. And this fan base, they don't like to come into a game thinking that they don't know if they're going to win or not. They will come into a game like this, like they did a few years ago against Texas Tech, when a highly ranked opponent comes in and you might be an underdog. They will light it up. And I think OU, they're not going to have a problem using that fan support and using the home crowd to really get in the head of Texas Tech, and it's going to be a big benefit for them.
Now, we're not done breaking down this game with Austin. Coming up in about 20 minutes, we'll talk about the OU defense and also what's been wrong with OU quarterback Blake Bell. Along with Austin Chadwick, I'm Nathan Thompson, live from Norman for Fox 23 News.
The Sooners secondary was one part of the defense that didn't get much attention before the season, but now they're turning some heads. Let's take a look at another standout player, defensive back Aaron Colvin. How about Aaron Colvin? The defensive back is coming up with some big plays this year. He has 32 tackles on this season, 9 of them were against Texas, and he followed up that performance with 8 against Kansas. One of his biggest highlights came against KU after the block punt, and he ran it back for 2. Colvin has been one of the leaders in the OU's strong pass defense. OU leads the nation, allowing about 149 yards passing and is only giving up 5.27 yards per pass attempt. We have continuing coverage still ahead in our countdown to kickoff special. We'll share the inside scoop on a Tulsa native that's becoming a star athlete for the Sooners, plus a tailgate party for the Dogs, and more Sooner trivia you won't want to miss. And you're looking right now, a live look to Memorial Stadium. Fans are trickling in and they brought their rain gear. It is a wet one out there. It's a good day to stay inside and watch football. Fox 23 certified meteorologist John Boyer has a look at your extended forecast and when the sun will return. John.
Yeah, we are going to have a nicer day on the way tomorrow, but the rain chance is coming back for us during the work week, and we'll get to that in just a second. But first, the current conditions out in Norman. It was up into the mid-60s just about an hour, 2 hours ago. Now a rain-cooled 59 degrees. Winds are from the south at 8 miles an hour. Fortunately, not too breezy. Some thunder just off to the south, but right now, some moderate rain moving in, and we'll check out the radar in a second, but I think it's still going to be locked in the upper 50s when we're at kickoff with some moderate rain, southwest winds at 10 miles an hour. By the fourth quarter, still a pretty decent chance for some rain and storms around, barely warmer at 63. Winds maybe up to 10, 15 miles an hour. So this is a close-in view of Norman on the local radar there from the airport, and there is some moderate rain just moving back in, and this is a more persistent area than the first little wave that came through and scooted off to the northeast. So we're looking at a few hours of rain at the very least, because this area stretches all the way down south of Chickasha. Now, there is a thunderstorm that is moving to the northeast, but if it stays on its current course, it's also going to miss Norman just to the south. So we're going to have to watch closely, as I'm sure the officials there at the stadium are, for that risk of some lightning in the area. However, most of it is staying off to the south, so we'll keep a close eye on this radar. Here in Green Country, a pretty quiet radar picture. There are some showers south of Eufaula, another little sprinkle that just passed south of Bartlesville, but everybody else dry with increasing clouds. I think we will stand a pretty decent chance for some rain later on this afternoon as all that stuff from central Oklahoma moves in. Over to the temperature map, pretty warm compared to yesterday. It's warmer than it was at any point yesterday right now. 63 downtown, 61 at the airport and in Owasso. Sand Springs up to 70. A little bit of sunshine will allow some of our communities to get into the 70s, but I think most of us end up with mid-60s or upper 60s for highs. So going into the late afternoon hours, we're talking about rain becoming widespread, especially south of Tulsa, maybe some areas of storms, but nothing really organized or strong. The farther north of Tulsa you are, the more likely you are to stay dry. As a cold front pushes all that off to the south this evening, we're talking about maybe 1 or 2 lingering sprinkles early on your Sunday morning. This is 6 o'clock, and you see areas south of I-40 could still be in line for a little bit of rain, but generally we're talking about clearing skies tomorrow, so we're going to have more sunshine. It's still going to be pretty warm by the afternoon, so it's going to be a much better day for planting something outside instead of this iffy rain situation we have today. Then on Monday in the morning, it's going to be dry, but we're going to have low clouds moving back in. A pretty strong southerly wind on Monday, 10 to 20 miles an hour. Going to warm things up for us. We're easily going to make it into the lower 70s, I think. Late in the evening, though, this is midnight Tuesday, we'll have some scattered storms developing. Some of the storms in parts of central Oklahoma or southern Kansas may be strong. We'll keep an eye on that. And then on Tuesday, that one little disturbance passes us by, another stronger cold front just off to our northwest. So we're going to be in a favorable area for some scattered showers and storms, not only on Tuesday, but take a look at Wednesday. It looks like a more widespread heavy rain could also be in line for some strong storms, but it really depends what time of day things roll through. So just know that if you have plans between Monday and even Thursday of next week, you're going to want to keep a close eye on how this system plays out when it comes to all that rain on the way. So the 5-day forecast for today, some showers likely, especially south of Tulsa, but the amounts of rain should be pretty light, 1/10 of an inch to 1/3 of an inch. Otherwise, limited sunshine, 66 degrees, wind switching from the south to the north, remaining pretty light at 5 to 15 miles an hour. Tomorrow, it's going to be a cooler start to the day, about 10 degrees cooler. This morning it was 49, tomorrow morning 39. So not as cold as it was on Friday morning, but still some of us may want the coats. Sunday afternoon, though, is looking pretty good. Slightly warmer, 67, mostly sunny, and wind switching from the north back to the southeast at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Now look at how mild it gets next week. We're going to be talking about above average highs and lows. Monday starting the day at 52. Some of us may not even need the jackets. High of 73. A brisk south wind 10 to 15 miles an hour with some gusts into the 20s and a chance for some storms in the afternoon and evening. Otherwise, a mostly cloudy day. So the earlier your plans are on Monday, more likely it is to stay dry. Tuesday and Wednesday still mostly cloudy to overcast with increasing chances for rain and storms. And some of that rain could be heavy, maybe between 1/2 inch and 1 inch there on Wednesday. Tuesday's high still pretty warm at 72. Look at the morning temperature though, 61 degrees, 60 on your Wednesday with a high of 68 degrees. Coming up, we'll have another check of the radar out in Norman.
Still ahead in our countdown to kickoff special, the Sooners have a secret weapon and he's playing offense. A surprise running man that stepped up into a key role. And we have another Sooner trivia question for you. Who did Oklahoma defeat 27-21? That answer in just 2 minutes. And we're back out live at Memorial Stadium. If you plan on watching the game this afternoon, be sure to tweet about it and use hashtag Fox23Sooners. Welcome back. Before the break, we asked you, who did Oklahoma defeat 27-21? The answer, Oklahoma State. OSU lost on a last-second heave to the end zone by Zach Robinson in 2006. Well, just into our newsroom, we are going to be under a rain delay until 3:45. The Sooners aren't the only thing, though, going on today. Tulsa and OSU are also taking the field. First up, the Golden Hurricane are fresh off a bye week and back on the road. Now, within the last 30 minutes, a source within the Tulsa football program told us Dane Evans, the sophomore, will get the start at quarterback for an injured Cody Green. Now, Tulsa will be taking on Tulane, who's 5-2 on the season. Back-to-back road games are always tough, but head coach Bill Blankenship explained during the bye week the guys have changed their game plan in the way that they think.
You know, we think it's a one-game series right now. I mean, that's the way you have to approach it. Most of our guys come from winning programs, and so we talk about it just like you would in a playoff run. I mean, you can't start looking ahead. You've got to play, be 1-0 this week. For us, we haven't accomplished much, and so we need to win this week to even begin to talk about, something down the road.
All right, now Oklahoma State is actually taking on Iowa State, and that score right now is 28-20 in the third quarter. Clint Shelf did get the start, but he only has 9 completions out of 23 attempts. Only 2 touchdowns today by Desmond Roland, and that is the running back for OSU. Moving on, the Sooner defense is 9th in the nation, but they aren't letting that get to their heads. Their strategy of quality defense to rebound from their game against Texas.
And in light of the rain and storm chances, I'm keeping a close eye on Fox 23 Doppler radar as storms move into Norman and perhaps into Green Country. An update on the rest of the afternoon's forecast on the way.
And it's perfect weather to spend indoors watching your favorite team play. In just minutes, we're live along Brookside as fans gear up to root for Oklahoma. Fox 23 is counting down to kickoff at Memorial Stadium in Norman. We've just restarted our countdown clock. A rain delay has pushed the kickoff time to 3:45. Now that's a little over 2 hours from now. So thanks for sticking with us. We have a live team coverage from the stands to the sports bars as Oklahoma takes on Texas Tech. Fox 23 is your source for college football. Sports director Nathan Thompson is live with how fans are showing their support for OU.
Yeah, they're trying to show their support out here. Definitely rainy, as you said. We're not expecting the game to kick off until 3:45. Now, that's tentative, so it's not official yet, but that's what they tweeted out. The OU official Twitter account tweeted out. So we're going to delay this probably about an hour and 15 minutes. So not a lot of people in Memorial Stadium behind me right now, still spending plenty of time out there tailgating, even in the rain, you know, eating some good food, playing some cornhole and washers, which I'm very good at. But at about 3:45, it's going to be all about football and all about the Sooners and the Red Raiders. On paper, this is no doubt the best game of the day in the Big 12 and one of the best games in the country. Oklahoma is ranked 15th in the BCS. Texas Tech is number 10. It's one of only 2 games in the country matching up 2 top 15 teams. UCLA at Oregon is the other one. The importance of today's game in Norman is definitely not lost on the Sooners.
They're coming here undefeated, ranked 10th in the country, so we're very excited to play them, and it's important. Need to prepare extremely well, you know, for a team that's coming in very, you know, they're very hot and they just got a lot going for them. So we need to be able to absorb that energy they're going to bring in here, you know, match it and then exceed it. Be able to put together our best game so far.
Here's a look at the OU Texas Tech series history in the Bob Stoops era. Sooners lead at 9-5, but it's been a coin flip recently. The two teams have alternated wins every year since 2004. OU has had a lot of success against the Red Raiders here in Norman, though, going 6-1 against Texas Tech. Although the Red Raiders did win the last time they played at Memorial Stadium back in 2011. The odds makers expect the Sooners to improve their record against the Red Raiders today. OU is a 6.5-point favorite. Live from Norman, I'm Nathan Thompson, Fox 23 News.
Continues on. Here's Andrew Carter with what's going on out there in Memorial Stadium. Andrew.
Martina, I just got an email from Pete Morris. He's media relations with the Oklahoma Sooners. He told me tentatively it's 3:45 because they're hoping to get an all clear at 2:30, and then they want to wait 75 minutes after that. So right now, if they get the all clear at 2:30, then it would be a 3:45 kickoff. What we don't know is if that all clear is going to happen at 2:30. So we'll try to keep you updated with that. The homecoming parade. Lots of people and moving parts are involved, but the key to a major role, just own a nice car.
It was my 51st birthday present. And ever since I've had it, they've always said, we need somebody to drive them to the parade. Can you drive for us? And I was like...
Preparing the car is a task of its own, but even the drivers know they have it easy.
Basically, you're going to be right up in the middle.
These young ladies and guys have to organize this thing, and it's just unbelievable how well they do.
All the bands here. I'm kind of like overseeing everyone today, so it's a lot of running back and forth, but it's going great so far.
Madison says she organizes all of the car participants, is in charge of the floats, and most importantly, makes sure everyone is at the right spot at the right time, which can be hard when the paraders are delirious.
Everybody's exhausted. I have friends in some other groups along down the street that are, asleep in their cars right now.
Sleep would be nice for most of these students who have pulled plenty of all-nighters the last few days preparing floats that are covered in specifically designed pomp, have moving parts, and of course, school spirit. And it's that spirit that makes the entire parade worth it every single year.
It's definitely worth it. You have the best sleep of your life, and it's just, tradition, It just doesn't feel like homecoming unless you're exhausted during the game.
So even if a simple 45-minute parade takes months to prepare for, it's clear everyone knows what they are signing up for.
Are you walking?
Now, obviously, earlier today, it was drier than it is right now, so luckily for everyone who took part in the parade, it was successful, and as I said, it was a dry one. Now, it's funny to think that that was just a few hours ago, but as you saw, there was a lot of preparation involved, just like we're going to continue to prepare out here as we hope to get some kickoff action from Sooner Stadium pretty soon. So, reporting live from Norman, Andrew Carter, Fox 23 News.
Thanks so much, Andrew. Regardless of the weather, the homecoming floats look amazing. Most of the time, now when you think of the Sooners, you think of the passing game. This season, there's someone else who's stepping up and carrying OU's offense. That's the running game. We take a look at running back Brennan Clay. If there was a season to be taken, it's this one for running back Brennan Clay. Now the Sooners' consistent starter, Clay has seen his productivity increase while on the field. Last season, Clay rushed for 555 yards with 6 touchdowns. Already through 7 games, he has 496 yards and 3 touchdowns. He rushed for a career high against West Virginia, going for 170 yards off of 22 carries. Over the offseason, Clay has worked on his speed. We got to see that during the Sooners' 20-17 victory against TCU. Clay took the handoff and rushed for a 76-yard touchdown to give OU the 3-point lead. He's someone that's getting his opportunity right now, and as he said, if they give you the ball in your hands, they trust you. Clay doesn't want to break that trust as the Sooners' leading rusher. Tulsa sports bars and restaurants are ready for the fans that couldn't make it to Norman today. Fox 23's Farron Saley continues our team coverage live from Leon's on Brookside. Farron.
I'm live on Peoria Street. I'm at Leon's right now, and there are current students, there's alumni here. They're all excited about tonight's game, not only because it's homecoming, but they say it's a chance to beat a Texas team.
Yeah, oh yeah, because Tech is definitely, they love to give a hard time too, so I love it anytime we get to beat any Texas team.
Now, OU lost the big game against UT, and even though Tech is undefeated, these fans are excited about their odds tonight. They're not worried about it. They say OU is going to bring home a victory. Reporting live in Brookside, Farron Saleh, Fox 23 News.
Thanks so much, Farron. Dogs are even getting excited about game day. Take a look at these pictures posted on the Humane Society of Tulsa's Facebook page. The Adoption Center at 61st and Sheridan is having a tailgate party right now until 5 p.m. DirecTV is broadcasting the game for those who come out to look at the dogs up for adoption. They look absolutely adorable. The clouds are out, but temperatures are supposed to warm up today. Certified meteorologist John Boyer has a look at your game day forecast. John.
Yeah, despite the clouds and the threat for some rain, it's generally a warmer day here in Green Country than it was yesterday, but we're taking a look at conditions out in Norman. 59 degrees, 100% humidity, obviously because of the moderate rain right now, and winds are from the south at 6 miles an hour. Some rumbles of thunder from some storms off to the south and to the southwest. The local view from the Oklahoma City terminal Doppler radar shows that moderate rain covering most of Norman right now, and it picks up even a little more in intensity once you cross 35, and there's more where that came from. At least an hour to 2 hours worth of rain backed up all the way to Chickasha, and we'll continue to broaden the picture so you get an idea of where this thunderstorm is, producing some lightning right around Aaron Springs, and it's moving to the northeast at about 25 to 30 miles an hour. It's not terribly organized, not terribly intense, but lightning is lightning, and when you have thousands and thousands of people at an outdoor venue, obviously they're keeping a very close eye on that situation there. And it's not just thunder there to the south of McLean County, but there's also a little bit of thunder with this shower just to the southeast of Norman, and that's pushing towards Shawnee. And that's when we switch gears to see what's on the way here in Green Country. Now, right now, across the northern half, things are pretty quiet. Some isolated sprinkles, otherwise partly to mostly cloudy, but you look off to the south, and there are some showers southeast of Eufaula that are heading towards Tallahena. No lightning in this, but the chance for some lightning and some moderate or heavy rain is pretty good south of I-40, because you see this line of rain ganging up on us, moving to the northeast. So that's the story for this afternoon. The southern half of Green Country, likelihood of some rain. Here in Tulsa, a slight chance. I'm thinking about 30 or 40% chance for some rain this afternoon. Otherwise, warmer, 61, a little bit of sunshine out through the clouds. Winds are from the south at 7 miles an hour. So coming up, of course, I will continue to keep an eye on the radar here in Green Country and also there in Norman. And I'm keeping an eye on the temperatures that are climbing, what we can expect from the rain later today, and when we get a better chance for storms in the days ahead.
To your mark.
May not have been shorts weather for some this morning, but that didn't stop more than 10,000 people from taking part in the Tulsa Run. Runners from all over the U.S. came to Tulsa to prove just how fast they are.
I just wanted a challenge, and I wanted to get back in shape, and I thought this is the best opportunity in order to do so. And it was definitely a challenge dealing with the hills and whatever, because whenever I practiced for the run, it was just a straight shot.
27-year-old Julius Kogo from North Carolina came in first for the 15K with a time of 44 minutes and 35 seconds. Thomas Marshall was the fastest Tulsan. At 10th place, he had a time of 48 minutes and 35 seconds. Congratulations to all the runners. Now, the Sooners have a Tulsa native that is really standing out this season, and it's freshman year. How Dominique Alexander is becoming the one to watch. Plus, hoping for the home team advantage, we look at OU's defense and how they've been building up steam for today's game. And here's our next Sooner trivia question. What team did Adrian Peterson break his collarbone against? The answer right after the break. And we're looking live to Memorial Stadium. The rain is coming down even harder in Norman, if you can believe it. Kickoff has been delayed until 3:45. You're watching the Fox 23 countdown to kickoff. All right, before the break, we asked what team did Adrian Peterson break his collarbone against? The answer, Iowa State. Sooner fans know he was out for the rest of the season except for the bowl game. We're looking live to Memorial Stadium in Norman as our countdown to kickoff special continues. You can see the countdown clock. We are just about almost under 2 hours away from the reset for the new start at 3:45. Sports director Nathan Thompson is in Norman in the rain. Nathan, you have an update on the rain delay situation, right?
Yeah, let's hope that 3:45 is the kickoff time. Just a couple of minutes ago, OU Sports Information Director emailed us here at Fox 23, and here's the absolute latest. They have to wait 75 minutes after they get an all clear. I can't argue that. It has to be done. And right now they're hoping to get the all clear at 2:30. So it's not going to be before 3:45 for sure. It could be after 3:45. They have to wait till they get an all clear. And as he told us just minutes ago, they're hoping to get that all clear at 2:30. Then they'll have to wait 75 minutes from there. And everybody here in Norman hoping that's when we do kick off is at 3:45. No one wants to wait around in this rain for much longer than that, especially these OU fans who haven't had a home game in 3 weeks, so they get it today, and hopefully they hope to see a win. And of course, it would be some good bragging rights if they could shut down or slow down this Texas Tech high-octane offense. Now, the Sooner defense has done a good job against most of its opponents this season, pretty much all of them but one. Oklahoma hasn't allowed anybody to score more than 21 points except for Texas, and the Sooners only lost this season, the Red River rivalry. The OU defense has definitely earned the respect of the Red Raiders.
They're a ball-hawking defense, get their hands on a bunch of balls, and so they're good against the rush, against the pass. They're just an overall very well-coached, very disciplined defense, so it's going to be a challenge to move it in all phases.
Coach Kingsbury says the Oklahoma defense is good against the run and the pass, but by the numbers, the Sooners are much better against the pass. A matter of fact, they're the best. Oklahoma ranks #1 in the nation in pass defense against the run. The Sooners ranked 43rd. One area OU struggles, though, is red zone defense. The Sooners allow teams in the red zone to score nearly 86% of the time. That's tied for 80th best in the country. Austin Chadwick joins me now again, and we're hearing lightning here in Norman. That's not a good sign. We're talking about the OU defense. They've had a lot of success outside of Texas. Going to be a good matchup today against a Red Raider offense that's really good at passing the ball.
Yeah, and they're going to be tested big time. Corey Nelson is out, as we talked about, season-ending injury, and the same thing with Phillips. He's out in the front line. I mean, so they're going to have to find a way to get pressure on the quarterback. Stryker is the big play guy on the edge. He's the one that can help get pressure on the quarterback, regardless of who the quarterback is. The number one thing they got to do, they got to tackle the football, and they got to tackle the guys that are carrying the football. Well, Texas Tech lives and dies with that short passing game, and if Julian Wilson, if Aaron Colvin, if all those guys can step up and make plays and get tackles around the line of scrimmage, they're going to be okay. They got to keep Texas Tech in front of them, and that's the big thing. And that's the way it's been against these Leach-type offenses, and obviously Cliff Kingsbury continuing that.
And another big key to the game has got to be on the other side of the ball, and that's Oklahoma quarterback Blake Bell, the Oklahoma junior. He began the year on the bench, but he earned the start in the third game of the season, and he was gangbusters there. In his first two starts, Bell averaged 323 passing yards a game, and he had 6 touchdown tosses and no interceptions. But his numbers went downhill from there. In Bell's next 3 starts leading into today's game, he only threw for 139 yards a contest and has 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. So, Austin, the question is, what's happened to Blake Bell?
Well, more than anything, they just got to figure out what they want to do on offense. They still don't have an identity on offense. They don't know if they're going to run it. They don't know if they're going to throw it. A lot of people, I couldn't believe in the Texas game down in the Cotton Bowl, they didn't run a design run for Blake until the third quarter. So you got to figure out what you want to do on offense. He's not Landry Jones. He is not the guy to put it up 50 times a game and go throw for 400 yards. He's the guy that can control the game like they did early in the season. So it's going to be interesting to see because Josh Heupel has got to adapt his style. His style is to not run that kind of game as an offensive coordinator, but offensive coordinators can adapt. They can figure out what's going to work best for their team, and they got to figure that out. And Blake Bell's got to have a good game. We're on game 3 and game 4. He's got to figure out if he's going to be the guy for OU this season and moving on into the future.
All right, now the kickoff is still about 2 hours away. That delayed 3:45 kickoff time we're hoping for. Cross your fingers there. But Austin's keys to the game and our predictions, those are only minutes away, so make sure you stick around for that. For Austin Chadwick, I'm Nathan Thompson. We're live from Norman for Fox 23 News.
All right, guys, light showers are popping up on radar here in Tulsa, but down in Norman, as you guys can see, the rain is still pouring down, but hopefully clearing out soon. Certified meteorologist John Boyer is tracking where the rain is right now. John?
Yeah, moderate rain all across the Norman vicinity. Should last for about another hour. There may be a break after that, but the problem is there's some lightning in the mix, and we'll get to that in just a second. But first, a cool 59 degrees. Winds are from the south at 6 miles an hour out at the airport there in Norman. So a closer look at the radar shows the yellow colors, the moderate to almost heavy rain just to the southwest. So the rain's begun, and it's actually going to pick up a little bit in intensity. That's crossing I-35 right now, and there's more where that came from. That area of light to moderate rain continues a good 40 miles off to the southwest of Norman, and it's moving to the northeast. Now, we do have some thunderstorms that are tracking to the northeast, but it looks like most of the thunder is going to stay off to the south. It's going to be close enough to where, of course, they're hearing the thunder and may actually have some strikes of lightning in the area, and that's a messy, disorganized area of thunderstorms. Nothing severe, maybe some gusty winds to 30 or 40 miles an hour. It's mostly just lightning and moderate to heavy rain. Here in Green Country, a pretty quiet picture. Some isolated sprinkles here and there. One south of Stillwater, tracked one in Washington County, and some more light rain to the southeast of Eufaula. But those showers and storms in central Oklahoma are on the way in. So the farther south of Tulsa you are, you stand a pretty good chance for some storms this afternoon. 64 downtown, only 61 at the airport. Still a warmer day than it was yesterday. That little bit of sunshine we're getting is helping with that, but still partly to mostly cloudy this afternoon with scattered showers, mostly south of Tulsa, but a cold front will provide a chance for everybody. By the evening, that front's off to our south. Here we are at 10 o'clock, and you see the rain starting to shift away from us. By tomorrow morning, it's dry, and we're going to enjoy some sunshine and still some warm temperatures. So Sunday looks like the best day in the 5-day period ahead of us for getting anything done outside. Weekend's always in view, and again, tomorrow looks like the better day, even though it's going to be a little cooler in the morning. 39 compared to the 49 we had this morning. High of 66 today, 67 on Sunday, mostly sunny, and Monday, a much warmer day, a little above average, 52 in the morning, 73 in the afternoon with some scattered storms late, but the morning is just going to be mostly cloudy and dry. We have a better chance for some heavier rain, perhaps some stronger storms between Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Still on the warm side of things. Tuesday at 72, Wednesday at 68 degrees, and look how mild the lows are going to be. Low 60s Tuesday and Wednesday morning. Might not even need the jackets at all unless it's a rain jacket. Coming up, I'll continue to track those storms moving through central Oklahoma.
We're counting down to kickoff as the Sooners prepare to take on Texas Tech at Memorial Stadium. Fox 23 Sports Director Nathan Thompson gives us his predictions next. The countdown to kickoff clock is ticking away to the OU game against Texas Tech. Right now, we are about an hour and 52 minutes away before kickoff because we're in a rain delay. Let's talk about one freshman who's stepping up fresh out of Booker T. Washington. Dominic Alexander has taken advantage over every opportunity as he quickly became the Sooners' top reserve to now top tackler.
He's getting it, and he's doing great. I mean, I'm really, we're excited about Dom.
Dominic Alexander's rise up the depth chart was probably inevitable, but it was jump-started after co-captain linebacker Corey Nelson tore his pectoral muscle when the Sooners beat TCU 20-17. In his first career start, Alexander made 19 tackles against Texas. A week later, he tallied 7 against Kansas. He's a player Coach Bob Stoops says he's excited about, which means a lot coming from him.
And he's doing better and better. He sure physically isn't out of place. He's a strong, fast guy that, again, is just going to continue to get better the more he sees things.
Fox 23 Sports Director Nathan Thompson joins us again live in Norman. Nathan, we've talked about the offense, defense, and Texas Tech's quarterbacks. Now you're ready to give your prediction.
Yeah, we're going to give a prediction, and we're going to talk about keys to the game, but first we got to talk about this weather a little bit. And again, the latest update we have within the last 20 minutes from OU Sports Information Director is best case scenario. Best case scenario is that 3:45 kickoff we've been talking about, but it could be later. What they have to do is they have to get an all clear, and once they get an all clear, they have to give both teams 75 minutes to get ready. So they're hoping the all clear will come at 2:30, coming up here in a little over 30 minutes, but they don't know for sure. But if they get the all clear at 2:30, We'll wait 75 minutes to give both teams a chance to get ready and get warmed up and ready to kick this thing off at Memorial Stadium behind us here. But if that hasn't happened, it could keep going and keep going later and later. So cross your fingers out there that it's a 3:45 kickoff. Now, real quick, we're going to bring in Austin Chadwick for predictions here. And first, keys to the game. Real quick, your key to the game on what's important in this game.
Well, more than anything for OU is turnovers. The bottom line is they get a lot of turnovers, and they can keep from turning the ball over. They're going to win this game. That's just the way it is. And I know it gets so distraught with how can they win? How can they lose? The bottom line, if they can get turnovers, that's great. They're going to get momentum if they get turnovers. They're going to be able to get points off those turnovers. But more than anything, they got to keep the play in front of them. They got to play good defense, and then again, they got to try to capitalize on turnovers if they get them.
So just in a few seconds, give us your prediction.
More than anything, I like OU. I don't like them by very much. Sloppy game changes everything. I like OU 24-21. I'm going to go with the odds makers, about 3-point spread. OU wins the game by a field goal.
Pretty close there. I'm going 28-21. So we're in the same neighborhood. So plus or minus a couple points, one of us will win the bet here. I think I won last time, by the way.
Yes, you did.
All right, that's it from a rainy Norman. Hoping for a 3:45 kickoff. For Austin Chadwick, I'm Nathan Thompson, live from Norman for Fox 23 News.
Here's a lineup for Fox 23 this Saturday. The OU Texas Tech game will air live right here on Fox 23. Kickoff is tentatively set for 3:45. Now, after the game, we'll have a Major League Baseball on Fox 23. The Boston Red Sox take on St. Louis in the World Series. And then be sure to join us for Fox 23 News after the game. And here's what we're working on for Fox 23 tonight. Saying goodbye. Family, friends, and an entire community gather in Pryor to pay their respects to a couple that died when their small plane crashed. We'll bring you how the two were honored. Plus, drag racing dangers, an update to a South Tulsa crash we brought you as breaking news last night on Fox 23 News. The new information about the people involved and the moments that led up to that crash. And Main Street in Broken Arrow will be blocked off tonight as more than 3,000 people take part in BA's Night Out Against Crime. How area businesses are promoting safer streets. That's tonight after the World Series game. And hopefully, John, there won't be a lot of rain going on during that time, right?
Yeah, hopefully things will be drying out towards the evening, but a big mess of rain right now in central Oklahoma. Some lightning in the mix, no particularly strong storms. Everything moving from southwest to northeast. So Norman has at least an hour's worth of rain ahead of him, but we'll see if more develops later on in the afternoon. And as you can see, all that big mess of rain out in central Oklahoma is moving to the east and northeast. So the southern half of Green Country is in line for that rain to pick up later on this afternoon and into the evening. Here in Tulsa, we'll be kind of on the northern boundary of that. Still, I'd have the umbrella on standby. We'll continue to keep an eye on how things play out with the radar. Certainly a warmer day, though. Talking about highs in the mid and upper 60s.
And right now we are about an hour and 47 minutes away from kickoff. Hopefully this will happen today, right? We'll see you. Thanks for joining us for our Fox 23 Countdown to Kickoff special. We hope to see you tonight on Fox 23 News after the game.